Have you wondered what it's like to truly explore the Monster Hunter Wilds environments? Well, I found the mod just for you. It's called Dynamic Camera Control, and it lets you play in a first-person view, but that's not the only thing it can do. However, today, that's all I'm going to be talking about. I found this mod like 2 days ago, and it turns out I've kind of fallen in love with it. You see, you kind of don't think about it all that often, but Monster Hunter is actually made on the same engine that the Resident Evil games are made on, hence why it's called the RE engine, stands for Resident Evil. I know, it takes a real physics brain to figure that one out. And if you didn't know, the newest games of Resident Evil are made for first person. I mean, that doesn't really have anything to do with Monster Hunter Wilds because it was made for third person, but it's just the scale of what this engine is capable of. Needless to say, when you put this game into first person, it's actually kind of majestical. You see, this mod lets you mess with the camera in all types of ways, but they decided, hey, we could also have this global setting where you can just tick it and it's first person for everything. Now that's not absolutely everything, like doing specific animations will still put you in third person, such as climbing up things with your sacred, or certain wound attacks, like I just figured out the dual blades will zoom you out when you're doing the big spinnies. But it won't do the zoom out. It'll zoom out for a moment, but then bring you back in to the drill. So I don't know, it's kind of a fun tidbit. Now, being able to explore this world in a first-person perspective is just really fun. I didn't expect it to be as fun as it is and to captivate me like quite how it has.
Should we take a break?
I already thought this world was pretty beautiful at my setup and with the shaders and stuff I have installed, but like putting it in first person is just a wow moment. Like walking around some of these environments, seeing the way the lighting interacts with the world, the ray tracing, the shadows, the light shafts, the whole thing, it's just a huge wow from this perspective. And I think the biggest reason for that is you get to feel the scale of this world. You know, in third person you can kind of see like, oh, it's a big world or whatever, but when you're actually down to your character's eye level and everything is set to scale, it really puts it in a whole new perspective. I mean, look at this footage I have, right? I'm coming across these monsters. Normally you might think like, oh, that's not too bad. When you're staring up at the monster, you gotta move your whole camera up. You can't even fit the whole thing in one view. It's like, oh my god, this thing is massive. It's like 5 times my size. And there's just something a little bit magical about that. I mean, just running around, the developers had this design philosophy that they wanted to make the world more like lively, sort of how Monster Hunter World is, where they wanted to feel like it's a breathing, living ecosystem, even if you weren't really involved with it. And once you go in the first person, you can really feel that, because you get to see all the little details of the bugs running around, and the way that the wind and weather affects all the little things in the world, and the textures of everything. It's really fun. It kind of captivates me a lot. I mean, honestly, you can run around and take like an infinite amount of screenshots of this world and be like, wow, that's really beautiful. It's actually kind of incredible to look at. And I think I did come across some lighting bugs, probably having to do with the mod. I mean, nothing can be flawless after all.
everyone's gasp. I wonder if the name was inspired by the sound of wind passing through.
But I ran around some of the areas and got some footage for you just to kind of show you the beauty of this game. I mean, I ran around, I think it was the Season of Plenty from the morning time all the way through like the nighttime in the Scarlet Forest, because the Scarlet Forest, in my opinion, is probably the best looking area in this game. I think it has the most just dynamic lighting of all of it. I mean, Ruins of Iberia are pretty close as well, though. That area is so like magical to run around and look in with the spiral going down the middle and everything. But this game secretly is kind of beautiful, and I think a lot of people don't necessarily realize that, because this game is also so demanding on your hardware. Like, oh my god, I've got such strong hardware and I still end up with frame rate issues. It's ridiculous. Being in first person, it's really fun to ride your Sacred because you get to see all the little details in your Sacred. So the cosmetic that I bought that has like all the cute little plushies and animals and stuff on him, I actually finally get to see it up close. Be like, wow, that is kind of cute. I don't know if I got footage of it, but when your Palico wants to ride on the back, you can turn your camera around and just see him like sitting on the tail. I thought that was pretty funny. Kind of adorable, honestly.
All
course, this is Monster Hunter. It's a game about hunting monsters, and I'm just telling you about the general exploration right now. Being in first person feels incredible, just exploring and soaking up the environment. Now, I do have to say, when you run around, you can see like your armor and stuff in first person, which is awesome, but if you wear extremely bulky armors, you can kind of be blinded by your own gear sometimes. I noticed it getting a little bit of extra footage right now. I bought the DLC cosmetic for like the Insect Glaive, the Cosmoid stuff, and when I turn the camera, it's just blinded by like the sheathed version of it with the headphones on your character. So you might have to be a little careful with the cosmetics you put on, or the things you put on, if you actually want to see what's happening around you. Anyway, getting back on track, this is a game about hunting monsters. So what is it like to actually hunt monsters from a first-person point of view? Now, of course, this game is not built around hunting in first person. It's actually not built at all being in first person. And that's why it's so surprising that I actually find it really fun. It's fun in a unique and different way. The same way that if you were to play Dark Souls modded in first person, it would be fun in that sense. Where it's not made for people that don't know what they're doing. It's made for people who really know what they're doing and have fun messing with the game in unique ways. Because obviously it's so much harder to hunt things when you can't see the whole monster. So you have to pick up more on audio cues and small visual cues, which, oh my god, this game is incredible with visual cues. Even in first person, I could see those minute differences in the way that the animations work. Oh, it made me feel like I know too much about the game. But to go along with this, if you were to mess with this mod too, some things I picked up on fighting in first person. One, be careful with the weapons you have, or more so be careful with the specific layered weapons you have. Because as I already mentioned, you see everything in your first person model. You're gonna see the weapons blocking your view. Like, I had done a quest using the Seregios Greatsword layered stuff. I don't have footage of it, but that blocked my whole vision. Meanwhile, I go into the training grounds, grab this little bit of footage to show off, and like, I've got the Bale weapon, the Dark Shadowbringer or whatever. It looks a lot easier to see things. And you'll probably see from the footage I even have me fighting stuff, I'm using Sword and Shield, or I'm using a Switch Axe. Switch Axe, it's kind of just always out of the way anyway. It doesn't block a lot of your view most of the time, unless you kind of just are running around normally, I guess. But it's not that big of an issue, and Sword and Shield is small enough that you can kind of see through everything fine anyway. But then there's stuff like Lance. Show the footage. You can't really see anything past this thing. There's just so much. Meanwhile, I put the Cosmoid layered weapon on the Gunlance, and I was able to see really well. I actually thought Gunlance would be really annoying, but because I chose a really thin model, I was able to see fine. And here's something I want to point out that is so unique to this game that makes this mod really fun to play around with. Focus mode. Yeah, the big gimmick of Monster Hunter Wilds, focus mode, comes in clutch to make a first-person mod feel so fun to play with. See, I went and gathered some footage just to talk about this. If you're not in focus mode with your weapon unsheathed, you just move your camera around, your character will stand idly. He will react to your movements, but like, he won't react to your camera, and it locks you in that spot. But when you activate focus mode and look around, he starts following the camera, so wherever you look with the focus mode is where your hunter is going to be looking and attacking. Now, as you can imagine, when you go first person, it would be very, very strange to be attacking, and then you move your camera and your character's still attacking something 90 degrees to your side or 180 degrees behind you. Well, if you just hold focus mode, like how I always play the game, then he will always be looking where you are looking and always attacking where you are looking, and it makes it play so much more fluidly. And that makes some weapons feel a lot easier to use in first person than others, specifically something like sword and shield, or things with guarding. You know that you're going to look in this direction, you're going to guard, and you're going to guard the attack. Boom, there you go. So sword and shield ends up feeling great. You've got mobility, you've got defensive, you're like snappy, you have all these options all the time in your focus mode. Meanwhile, trying to use something like Insect Glaive and then vaulting over the monster, you can kind of get lost and not know where they're going and be trying to whip your camera around before you hit the ground to try and latch back on it. That's where it starts to get a little harder. Or Dual Blades, I had some fun doing a hunt with that, don't have footage, but I'm going to show you the footage I got in the training area. You get right up in the monster's face with that thing, you can't really see anything. So you kind of have to be careful with your positioning and where you're looking and what you're doing, just so you can actually see what the monster is doing and you can react accordingly. But if it wasn't for focus mode, it would feel awful to use first person in hunts. I mean, I would sit there and get really frustrated if I wasn't able to use focus mode. So I'm not going to. I will, if I ever use this mod, I'm gonna always use it with focus mode. You're crazy if you think I wouldn't. But that's pretty much all I really have to say about this mod. It's really cool. I mean, the main appeal to this mod is you can actually control the camera however you want. Like any footage I have where it's in third person, that's me using custom camera from the mod. It is dynamic camera control. It's not specifically for first person. That's just an option you can enable. So you can set up the camera to be however you wanted. Initially, I wanted to actually come up with an idea and be like, oh, I'm going to make my camera similar to like a Dark Souls camera. And then I'm like, no, it's way more fun to mess with first person view, actually. So even if you weren't interested in using it as like a first person mod, you can use this mod to have like the perfect camera in your opinion, which I don't really have footage of anyway. Seeing that I don't have much else to say, I'm just gonna have some footage running to let you watch a little bit of me playing around with this, running around some locations or something. I don't know. Me and editing will go and find something interesting for you to watch. So yeah, that's about it. See ya.